Alright guys, so there's a lot of misinformation going around once again, and this time it's about Sandrone and Varka. We also have some information about the next characters that will get buffed. It's pretty interesting and there's a lot to go through, so without wasting any time, let's just get right into it, and let me tell you guys how much of this is actually true. Alright, now there's two things we have to take a look at, alright? First, that one, and then the information about Varka and the next characters that will get buffed, which is pretty interesting. But first, let's take a look at this one. Now, before we talk about Sandrone, if you want to pull for Columbina just like me, let me introduce you to my partner, rushbuy.gg. I've been personally using it. It's a very trusted and safe way to top up at a much cheaper price, and I can confirm that it's safe to use. But you can also get up to 8,000 Genesis crystals for free on top of your order if you choose to buy this bundle, for example. So you'll pay for the price of 4 and you'll get another 8,000 crystals on top of that for free. There's a lot of other options as well. On this bundle, for example, you'll get almost 2,000 Genesis crystals for free. So yeah, if you want to have a look at all these different offers yourself, you can just click this banner on their homepage. But keep in mind, it's a limited time event, so if you want to go for it, now is the perfect time to do that. If you want to top up, all you have to do is just enter your UID and the server that you play on, and whatever you purchased will arrive on your account within 5 minutes. Make sure to use my code to get an additional 15% discount. And before someone asks, you're not gonna get banned or anything like that. They're using official authorized top-up services, and as I said, I'm using it myself and I've had a very good experience with it, so there is no need to worry. But now, let's get back to the video. Sandrone, the second most meta character in Na'Cry, will be released in 6.7. However, she will no longer be referred to as Sandrone and will be an electro character, apparently. Her gameplay is mainly focused on superconduct. Now, I don't think this is true, and I'm going to explain why in a second, but let's continue. Then it says that we will get a female cryo support for her in version 6.5. So this is pretty weird, and first of all, the source is like some random Chinese dude, so we don't know how much of that is true. The source is not really reliable. The only thing we can actually say for sure, 100%, is that Sandrone will be in version 6.7. I already said that a couple of times before, but she will be in version 6.7. I think this person is confusing that character with Sandrone, if this is actually true. Again, if they actually saw some files of superconduct characters and some female cryo characters, then yes, this might be true, but I don't think that's going to be Sandrone. In fact, I'm pretty sure, because Sandrone will be in version 6.7, and she will be Geo, right? We already know that. If Sandrone is in version 6.7, why would she get a support in version 6.5? That doesn't make any sense. She should get a support in version 6.6 if that was the case. But then again, I don't think Sandrone will even have a dedicated support. I think she will be the support or the buffer or something like that, or a sub DPS most likely. That's my theory. But yeah, nah, dude, I don't think this is true. No, don't believe this, guys, please. Now, this part here is interesting because it says Sandrone's personality will be different once she's playable, and apparently she will no longer be considered a tsundere. So, you know, this type of anime girl. I don't think this is true, right? It just doesn't make any sense. First of all, why would they have to change her personality, right? A lot of people like the current version of her. I also like her personality at the moment. I don't think they should change it. It's perfect. We don't have a lot of characters like her, and I think they should keep it, right? And this is something they had to do with Wanderer, for example, but the reason why they did it with him was because he was way too evil, right? He was an evil person, he did some pretty messed up things, and so they had to change him, give him a whole new personality so they can actually make him playable. For Sandrone, I don't see any reason to do that, right? So this is I don't know where the fuck they got this information from, but this is definitely not true. Alright, so most of this is not true. The only thing about this that might be true is the fact that we will get a character that will work with superconduct and a character that will be a female cryo support. That part might be true, but it has nothing to do with Sandrone, alright? So please don't believe this, guys. Another thing that I want to take a look at is actually some information about Varka, and this is once again, you know, very suspicious information right there. It says that right now, Varka is mainly played as a quick swap burst DPS, which, you know, quick swap is more of a thing that we have in Wuthering Waves. So it would be interesting if he's actually quick swap, but let's just finish that first. He's not a bigger Wanderer nor a bigger Chaska. In this person's understanding, he's more like an Anemo version of Skirk. Now, one part about this leak that I find really interesting, even though this leak is from a really weird source, like we don't know if this is reliable or not, but this part right there, even though it's probably a guess, I do think that's actually true. The next batch of buffs will be for Liyue, so for Zhongli, Zhao, Hu Tao, and Ganyu, and we don't know when that's going to be. But even though this leak in itself is very suspicious and probably not really true, the part about these buffs, right, I think that's probably true. Definitely. Because we already got Mondstadt buffs, we already have these Hex and Circle buffs. It's just a matter of time until we get buffs for Liyue characters, and I already said that before, right? We already knew this was going to happen, but when? My prediction is that this is going to happen between version 7.0 and 7.2. I don't think we'll get those buffs during Notcry. I don't think that's gonna happen. Most likely, we will get those buffs at the start of the next region, so between version 7.0 and 7.2. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The part about Varka, you know, it sounds kind of believable, but then again, the source is some like random Chinese dude, so we don't know how true this actually is. But this is like very early information, and we should wait until the beta actually starts so we can properly judge this. For now, I would take this with a huge grain of salt. The only thing I would actually be really sure about is the fact that we will get these buffs. The part with Varka, yeah, I don't know about that one. We gotta be careful, but that part is most likely true. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comments. Feel free to join my Discord. Let me know who you guys are going to pull for in version 6.3. And as always, I wish everyone a nice and wonderful day.